All right. So how was your week, Tasha?
My week was quite eventful.
All right, fill us in.
Me and Nesto finally got to take the kids to Disney World and Universal Studios, and Uncle went with us, which was awesome because I don't know if we could have done it without him, honestly. Watching three crazy kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Alice probably doesn't need as much looking after as the other two.
No, but I definitely had eyes on her the whole time so that she wouldn't get kidnapped. Eventually, like every time she got away from me where I couldn't see her, like just around the corner or something, I'm like, Alice, what are you doing? You trying to get kidnapped again? Stop it. I was messing with her like, oh, look at me. I'm Alice and I want to get kidnapped.
Does she think it's funny?
She did, but she stuck with me pretty
Okay.
good, so that was fun. Man, did we have a good time. But man, let me tell you, I'm probably going to post this, but I found out that you can never be too old for roller coasters because I always used to love roller coasters at Six Flags and all that.
Yeah.
I'd always ride the big ones. I was like, now that I'm older, I don't know if I can do it. When I got there, I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna try it since we're here. I'm probably never coming back until like they're all adults again. Anyway, so yes, I rode a whole hell of a lot of roller coasters, but the ones that spun, like I rode one that spun, and let me tell you, I didn't feel good for the rest of the day. I regret that.
Yeah.
I didn't even feel good in the morning either. It was
Well,
bad.
at least you didn't throw up, though.
There's that, but
You held it together.
you know how I am about throw up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ernesto and Uncle were the same. They're like, I'm not gonna ride any that spin. Uncle rode all the big roller coasters the entire time, but he's like, but if it's spinning, I'm not. If it's a teacup that spins, I'm not doing it. You know those spinning cup things?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I probably wouldn't do those either. But Alice convinced me to go on one that spun, and it was like a space simulator, like traveling through space. And this should have given me a clue, right? There was an easy for beginners route that Alice didn't want to go on.
Of course not.
The boys wanted to go on it though, so Ernesto and Angel took the boys on it. Alice wanted to go on the hard one for, advanced trainees. And I was like, fine, fuck it, I'll try it. And it had spinning in it, and I was like, surely it won't be that bad. Surely. And we're getting all we're getting all strapped up, and then in the introduction video to the ride, there's this little tiny kid, couldn't be more than like 10 years old, who's all strapped in, looking happy as fuck. And I was like, okay, if that fucking kid can do it, then I can do it. I'm fine. Well, guess what? I wasn't fine.
Yeah.
It was the one ride I
Yeah.
regretted going on the entire time. The rest of them were fine. Oh, but there was one precarious one at Universal. It was a motorbike, Hagrid's motorcycle ride or whatever. And at first I tried to get in, like the ride was set up like the cart that carried the people. It was set up like a motorcycle, like Hagrid's motorcycle, and then the person riding next to them would be in the little, what's it called? Like the little extension, the little motor.
Sidecar?
Yeah, the sidecar. Now, at first, Alice was like, I want to ride the motorbike. And I was like, I don't know if I can fit in that little sidecar, but I'll try. Tried fitting in the sidecar. They couldn't do it. The guy was trying to push down the thing around my waist. And he was like, what we're going to do? And mind you, the entire cart was still rolling, to get onto the truck. And he was like,
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to switch you, but you're going to do it really, really fast, okay? And I was like, okay, just don't let me die. Because we were unbuckled, and then it was still going.
Yeah.
On the move. And so we switched really fast. And then even then, he was trying to press down like the thing around your waist to get it to the light to glow green or whatever, to say that it was okay and safe. And he's like, are you okay? Or that's what he said. He's like, you feeling good? And I was like, yeah, sure. I had to stand up and and push that shit down.
Yeah.
That might have been the scariest part of the entire ride. Is trying to buckle in safely right before it. Well, that reminds me,
Jeez.
you should have seen Nesta on this Avatar 4D ride where you had to sit down like you're on a motorcycle. It's kind of set up like that, but you put on glasses and there's this big screen that takes you off on as if you're flying on one of those flying. You've seen the Blue People Avatar, right?
Yes. Unfortunately.
It's a good show. It's a good movie. Anyways,
No, it's not.
it is. And Nessa was trying to get buckled in. And it was the same thing with me in the Haggard ride, only this guy who was trying to like push these leg holders from the back of his legs in to lock in. And Nessa's a good 6 foot tall, and he's got big legs, and he's a big guy. And the guy had to like use his shoulder to push in the little leg holders behind his legs, behind his knees. And he was pretty much horizontal to the ground trying to push Nesto's leg thing in place. And I'm like, that
Jeez.
that looks precarious. They had Nesto squeezed in like they had me squeezed in like a sausage.
But everybody enjoyed everything?
Yep, everybody enjoyed everything, so it was good. And nobody passed out from
You didn't have any meltdowns?
uh-huh.
I was going to say, you didn't have any meltdowns?
No, I didn't. And no one passed out from heat exhaustion, so that was good.
That is good.
We
It
might
is
have gotten
very good.
close a little bit close there a couple times, but no, we were good. And now we're all tan.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
King
I
of,
was going to ask if you've got a little more tan than usual.
absolutely, King of the Hill style. Because we're out at least 8 hours every day walking around these parks that are outdoors. If there weren't places, like, okay, there was a park at Disney. I think it must have been Epcot. The last one we went to. It had less places to stay inside than Animal Kingdom did, which is like a zoo. So I didn't get it. It was strange. And I was dying, but
Yeah.
it's fine. I didn't die.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you didn't die.
Yeah. Success.
I mean, this podcast would be better probably, but still.
He's such a nice guy.
It'd just
Nice
be me
guy
talking to
over
myself.
here. Huh?
Yeah. It would just be me talking to myself.
Yeah, it would.
Oh.
How was your week?
I had to yawn there. Mostly boring, actually. I worked a lot. I don't think I did much.
Yeah. It was one of those weeks then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I had, plenty of, like, interesting conversations with people, but nothing noteworthy. No people trying to hit on me or anything this time.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is there anybody try to hit on you this time?
No. I before we got on the podcast though, I did get an email with we're sorry we went with another candidate from a job I applied to.
Ugh, they suck.
Yeah. Didn't even get an interview and it's only been like a week. I was like, all right, I guess.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
So thanks for nothing?
Yeah. I've talked to a lot of people that are in the same boat, basically. They've been applying to a bunch of places and then getting nothing in return.
Yeah, that sucks.
And I was going to call this place in the morning and be like, hey, just want to check on the status of my application. And they were like, haha, we beat you to it.
Basically.
Yeah.
You tell them, never mind. I was actually going to call y'all and say never mind because fuck y'all.
Yeah. Basically. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Like, you know what? I changed my mind.
Yeah.
You don't reject me. I reject you. But yeah, so while I was driving around today, I came up with that new D&D name.
My God. That's a lot
Well,
of...
I mean, it looks... if you look at it, it looks like a normal name.
But then you say it out loud all
Until you...
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
His name is Mr. Odick.
Yeah.
Azelot Odick.
You fucking suck. Yeah, I was looking at it like, okay, what the fuck has he got going on this time?
Yep. It's just more bullshit, like always.
And back on your bullshit again.
Yep. And I told you I saw If already, right?
No. How was it?
Well, it's good. It's very good. It might actually be my recommendation at the end of this.
Nice. Is that the one with the imaginary friends?
Yes, which is what If stands for.
Clever.
Yeah, it is, right? John Krasinski directed and was in as well. I didn't realize he was in the movie until I started watching it. But, well, are you ready to get into it?
I am.
All right, hit him with the intro, Tasha.
Welcome to What Am Dreams. I'm one of your hosts, Tasha, and I'm here with,
Dustin.
and we're here to talk to you about dreams. Dreams, dreams, dreams.
Blah, 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 blah. I thought I'd add a little flavor. No?
No,
You didn't like the flavor?
no.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're salty.
That's funny.
All right. So, I'm sure you had plenty of dreams
I did.
while you were gone. Did you write any of them down?
I did not. But I do remember one.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what I was texting you about. It was on the drive up to Orlando, and apparently I was just hearing the YouTube video they were all listening to in the van about cryptids, mainly about skinwalkers, lizard folk, and I forget what else. Okay, but in my actual dream, I dreamt that me and Ernesto were in a red truck. It was his truck. I don't know why it was red, but we were driving on our way through Native American land, and
Mhm.
Nesta was getting more and more nervous about the types of skinwalkers that we might come across, or if we might come across skinwalkers. And so he called a guy, a Native American expert, about all of this, and he was talking to him on speakerphone in my dream. So in my dream, he was talking to a Native American man about skinwalkers. And
Yeah.
I learned, well, when I woke up in real life, I was like, I had this dream that blah, 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 blah. And I was like, telling him that, like, and the Native American guy said that to be careful to not leave your hair behind any hotel that you might be staying in through these lands, because you never know when, angry or evil spirits might get it and use it for bad, and use your hair for bad. And they're talking about how there are skinwalkers prevalent not just on the east side of the US, but also on the west side. Or maybe it might have been the other way around. I'm not sure. But they're like, yeah, he said that
Mhm.
exactly in the video, word for word. And I was like, what? And I said, and also we were driving in a red truck. And Nesta was driving a red truck. And they're like, the dude was driving a red truck. They told me that, and I was like, seriously? And they're like, yeah, were you just watching the video? And I was like, no, I was asleep. They didn't believe me.
Wow. Well, maybe you were asleep, but like your eyes were still open
God.
and your brain was taking in whatever it was seeing. It was just like, yeah, tell her this story. This happened.
Jeez. That would freak me out.
Uh,
Sleeping with my eyes open.
I I've seen people sleep with their eyes open, and it freaks me out.
No, that's freaky as hell.
I can't do it.
How could one do it? I don't
I,
know.
like as soon as I see someone with their eyes open and they're still asleep, I'm like, no, you're gonna have to go back to sleep if I have to punch you in the face. I don't care if you're my niece or nephew or
You're
what.
gonna go night night, or you're gonna go night night with these
Right,
hands.
right. One bed, one pillow.
But that's all I remember from that dream. Just talking to a Native American dude about skinwalkers.
Okay, well, um, I had another weird sci-fi dream that uh, part of it could have been a pretty interesting premise for like a show or again, I was a detective. I don't know what is going on with this, but like I've been having a lot of dreams lately where I'm investigating something. And I don't know why. Like I definitely am not an investigator.
That's funny.
Like I don't like that kind of thing. But I was walking around a pawn shop with this guy who is supposed to be like my partner. We're both detectives. Um, but we had the ability to rewind time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, that would be like the greatest detectives in the world if you could just see what happened.
Well, it wasn't quite that like that, but yeah, we couldn't go that far back, you know. But we could rewind like 20 minutes or something like that. It was a weird like, justification for being like, what happens next. Anyway, so we were looking at things in the pawn shop and I saw a wallet that matched the description of a wallet that belonged to someone else. And so I like picked, like I asked the guy if I could see it. And then before I could actually get it, somebody else had already taken it. Like, I don't know if they bought it or if they stole it and they were like leaving. And my partner rewound time to bring the guy back.
Oh,
But then when he brought him back, the guy shot my partner.
no.
Yeah. And so then like I had to rewind time for that, and that was when the thing ended. But like rewinding time for detectives would be pretty fun. It'd be a fun premise.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I've been having a lot of those kinds of dreams lately. I was trying to like think if there was something I've been watching or, you know, playing or whatever. And not really. I mean, I watched that show The Rookie, but that's once a week, if that. And it's been over for a few weeks now.
Who knows?
I don't know. Or maybe that's my calling. Maybe I should become a detective.
Maybe you
But like
should.
a private investigator though.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to go through the police force.
you should.
Be like one of those gumshoes.
What's a gumshoe?
It's a detective from like the 1930s or whatever.
I've heard that term before. I think you might have told me before what it meant, but I forgot.
It's like the one that's like that dame had a lot of chutzpah. Like that kind of guy, like the talks like that. Chutzpah. Yeah. Anyway, what's your dream?
My next dream, and I remember, I texted this to Nesta. I dreamt that I drove to a water park, parked there, and I was with my kids, who were much younger than they are in real life. I think, yeah, one was a baby still, one was a tiny toddler, and the other was just a little bit older. Anyways, I drove to a water park. I parked there, or I was trying to park there, and there's this bitch who
No, okay.
cut me off before I could park there. So I flipped her off, and coincidentally, her entire ratchet ass family, uh, were there
Mm.
to see me flip her off. So they all did not take too kindly to that. So
Yeah, now you done it.
I did it. So I parked somewhere else, got out of my car. They were all like gathering up by my car door as I was parking, like almost, they were working themselves into a tizzy.
Yeah.
And I got out. I wasn't scared in my dream. In real life, I would have been.
Uh,
In real life, I definitely would have been scared. But in my dream, I was like, fuck these guys. They ain't about it. And they were all yelling at me. I was very nonchalant about it, very dismissive. They were all yelling at me while I was just taking my sweet time, getting me and my kids and my shit out of the car. And they're all talking about looking to fight me and shit. And I'm like, yeah, fuck off. That's what I was like. y'all ain't fighting me. And then so I opened up the back door to my truck to get I guess I remember my baby being exactly 8 months old. I don't know why. Anyways, got my 8-month-old baby out, my toddler out of the truck, and I was like, hold on. Y'all aren't about to fight me with a baby in my hands, you dumb bitches. And then they all backed off.
Wow.
They all backed.
Pulled out the baby card.
Yeah, they're like, yes, you're right. I'm not gonna fight you. And they retreated. And so then the rest of the dream was just us walking up to the water park, which happened to be just a swimming pool. It wasn't like a whole Hurricane Harbor or anything. And we were enjoying ourselves at the swimming pool. It had a slide though. There was a slide.
No.
And then,
I'd have fought you with the baby.
huh?
I would have fought you with the baby.
Of course you would have. This was the same dream. It was connected to that one dream I texted you about too. And then in this dream, time got weird, and I was a teenager again. I didn't have any kids, and I was wearing a teeny tiny mini skirt, and I was about to jump into the pool.
Wow.
Yep. And that was that dream.
Is that something you would have done in real life?
As a teenager? Yeah.
Obviously not now.
Obviously not now.
Now you're a sensible adult.
I am.
You wouldn't do crazy things like that.
No, I wouldn't. But I do still ride roller coasters, so I am still a little crazy.
Bleh. I actually get bored on roller coasters.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you ride the lame ones?
No, it feels like they're all the same now.
Yes, that makes sense. But man, I haven't ridden in how old am I?
Ancient?
Decade.
Yeah.
Decade.
I mean, I know you're at least 30-something.
34. I had to think about it. I only know because I was born on a 10th. I was born in 90.
That's terrible. I was born in the 80s. Just inherently makes me better than you.
Mm-mm. Wrong again.
So I feel like I told you this dream already, but I don't think I told it on the podcast. It was about zombies. Did I tell you about that? Like I was in the zombie apocalypse. I think maybe I told you this when I was at your house and we were working on stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Where the way we tested if people were going to turn into a zombie was if they didn't like fried chicken.
Yeah.
Because apparently like all the blood and everything had been cooked out of it, so if they didn't eat it, then we knew they were gonna turn into zombies.
You're ridiculous.
And then I I didn't remember that I wrote this last part, but it says I spent a lot of time with a long katana and trying to stay quiet.
Like a ninja.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Couldn't you just see me sneaking around with a katana, dressed in all black?
Yeah. And you look silly.
I'd literally be like Chris Farley from Beverly Hills Ninja.
Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I watched a Chris Farley movie.
Tommy Boy's the best one.
Tommy Boy.
Well, it is. It's the best one. But anyway, that was the whole dream, was just like testing people by giving them fried chicken, and then if they turned it down, we were like, everybody get back. They're gonna turn.
That's funny. That's so ridiculous
What?
too. What?
Oh. It sounded like you gasped.
No, I didn't.
Maybe it was a ghost then.
That's weird.
That reminds me. I don't know if he wants me talking about him on the podcast necessarily, but and this has nothing to do with dreams, but I had a friend of mine tell me the other night that he's got a ghost in his house, and he's had this ghost for 20 years. He's lived in this house for over 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And the way he's known about the ghost the whole time is like you'd hear shuffling when there would be nobody there, and then like you'd hear the steps creaking and you'd smell cigarette smoke.
Ooh.
Even though like nobody in the house smokes. And he told me the other night that out of nowhere, he's on the phone with this girl, and just there's these loud bangs upstairs, and he's home by himself. It's just him and the dog, and he was he was kind of upset about it. He was mad at first.
Yeah.
But then he said he heard the steps creak, and the dog started standing up and growling into the living room, where like not in the same room he was, but like had his back turned to him, and was like growling into the living room, and like got down but was growling.
Yeah.
So he was telling me about it, and I was like, sounds like you need to get that house blessed. I don't know what's going on, but either he's mad at you about something, or that's not him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, it was an interesting thing that happened yesterday. When you almost gasped, it reminded me of that. Anyway, do you have another
Dream?
dream? Yes.
I do. Let's see. I had a dumb dream.
Okay.
I think I texted you the title to this one. I named it like Suburban Sacrifice. Suburban Worm Sacrifice.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll tell you about that
something
one.
like that.
Okay, this one was dumb. I dreamt about running through. It wasn't even like nature. It wasn't even like real woods or anything. But the
Mm-hmm.
dream seemed wild. Way wilder than it should have been because I was running. It was like alongside a suburban road, like the medians
Yeah.
or that separates the sidewalk from the fence of suburban homes. I was
Yes.
running in there. And it was like an adventure dream, and I knew I had to hurry in my dream, so I was running. I was running with two other friends. I don't remember who they are in real life. I'm not sure they were anybody I knew in real life. And they were too slow. They were slower than me for some reason. This is not realistic at all. So they were slower. They got caught by the shadows in my dream.
Mm.
Yeah, they were like shadow spirits, or maybe not even spirits, just like some sort of shadow presence.
Yeah.
And I knew if they got caught, that they would turn into shadow zombies and they'd join the shadows as like monsters.
Ooh.
I also knew that if they did get caught, the only way to revive them would be to kill something wild, like a snake or a worm or anything I
Mhm.
could get my hands on, really. But I'd have to kill them. I'd have to kill them with my bare hands. They would be the sacrifice to bring back to like revive my friend. So guess what? It happened. One of my friends fell to the shadows, and I was like, shit, I gotta find something. So I was like panicking because I knew I had to run, but I was also like searching as fast as I could for something I could find that was alive, like a snake or a worm. And I found a really long worm alongside the fence. It looked way more like a snake in hindsight. Awake, it
Yeah.
looked way more like a snake because it was like a couple of feet long, maybe maybe like a foot and a half long, and it was a good inch thick or so. And I remember picking it up. I was like, yes, I found something. And I picked it up, and it wrapped itself around my arm like a boa.
Yeah.
And luckily, it was only a worm, though, so it squished really easily. So I squished it as hard as I could with my arm and my hand. And I remember it leaving like a sticky black residue all over my arms and hands.
Ew.
Yeah, it was gross. And I remember worrying about finding running water to rinse that shit off because yuck. So I wasn't trying to have all that on me. But also shadow monsters, so I had to forget about water. So I didn't really have time because the next thing I had to find the next thing to save my other friend who had fell to the shadows. But I did save the other one by squishing the worm.
Nice.
Yeah. So I remember trying to find another thing to squish and panicking because I also knew I had to keep running, and that's all I remember from that dream.
Okay. Two things. You can't say things like a good inch thick and expect me to not laugh.
You dumb.
The uh the other thing is Do you know how to kill a snake? Apparently, the easy way.
No.
So this is so dumb, and I can't believe this works. If you pick them up by the tail, and then like if you when I say tail, like I know it's all tail, but the very end of it,
My gosh, I think you're gonna
and
say what
you
I think you're gonna say.
you basically swing it around and then like crack it like a whip, the head will pop off.
My God, that's awful.
Yes.
That's awful. I thought you were gonna
Yeah,
say,
living out in the country, we found things out like that.
Jesus. How many snake heads did you friggin' pop off, you weirdo?
I didn't do it. I never did it. I never had to do it.
Jeez.
But what did you think I was gonna
I thought
say?
you were gonna say swing it around your head like a helicopter, or like swing it against something.
Well, yeah, you do swing it around your head a couple of times and then crack it like a whip.
That's fucking crazy. But I guess whatever gets a snake dead, especially if it's venomous.
Venomous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I like the premise of your dream. You know,
The shadow
you should
threat.
yeah, you should write that down.
Yeah, maybe.
And then of course there is still that one book that we need to finish writing that somebody needs to work on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me. Huh.
It's you. Yeah.
Oh, there's that one thing too that we all started writing and never finished.
Yeah, I don't know whose turn it is on that.
I don't think it's mine.
I don't think it's mine either, but it could be.
Who knows?
Did I tell you the dream that I had where I was playing a game where a bunch of us were using BB guns to shoot each other?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so well that happened, and then I was hiding in like one of these bushes and I was sniping people, and then like I would move to a different bush after each person that I shot, just so that like they couldn't tell somebody, oh, he's in that bush or whatever. You know, I'd move to a different one,
Yeah.
and then like I don't know why I did this, but it says um I saw one of the guys who was already out, and he was on his cell phone, and I shot at the phone, even though he was already out. I guess I would think I was just messing with him or whatever, but I shot at the phone. I missed it, uh, and then I shot this little girl,
Oh no.
and and she yelled shit, and her dad was like, "No, you can't say that. That's a bad word. Say something like freak or something like that." And then that was the whole reason she was in the thing, was just for that little bit. I don't know why she was there, but she was not important to the story.
That's funny.
Anyway, so a friend of mine and I won like the game that we were having, and I was messing with this other girl who was my age. So we had ammo left, and I was aiming the gun at her or whatever, and she was like, "There's nothing in those," and so I told my friend to show her, and he shot something nearby, and she got all kind of mad, and her threat to me about like being mad was, I was gonna let you design my next tattoo, but now she's not. I guess I don't know, and it made me mad in the dream, and I yelled at her, "You lying ass bitch!" I said it kind of like Sam Jackson.
Jeez.
And I was like, that was when I woke up too. So I was just like, I don't know what happened in that dream.
Lots of random things happened.
Yeah, yeah,
It reminds me of that random girl who asked you for a piece of gum. You told me about. You remember?
yeah, yeah. I do, because that was weird. I've talked to other people that said it wasn't weird. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't deal with kids, but it seemed weird to me.
I think it's weird.
Anyway, I've got one more dream. Do you have any more?
Yeah, I have one more. This one
Okay,
was interesting.
go ahead.
It was weird. I dreamt I was invited to a baby birthday party, and I dreamt all the parents and their kids at Cub Scouts were invited too, and they brought their kids. And guess who was hosting it?
Is it someone we know or is it a
Yes.
celebrity?
No.
Brandon.
Irene.
Gross.
Irene hosted it.
Why did I say that?
Why would Brandon host it? That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, Irene hosted it, and of course, as usual, I was running late, and
Yeah.
apparently all the women, once I had arrived late, I'd walked in past all these other parents who were already there, who had been there for a while with their kids, and all the food was already displayed because it was like a potluck kind of deal where we had to bring our own
Mm-hmm.
dish. I noticed, and this is a weird detail, I noticed that apparently all the women there who I knew had lost weight instead of me. So that was weird.
Okay.
That was a weird detail. I also remember preparing for my dish. I remember preparing a Vietnamese fruit salad. This is very specific.
Okay.
I don't know if in real life this is a Vietnamese thing, but I have seen like recipes for it and pop up in my feed. I don't know. I don't remember if it's Vietnamese or if it's Chinese or if it's Japanese. I'm not sure. I'm 90% sure it's Vietnamese. But anyways, it's a Vietnamese fruit salad in my dream. It included like little pieces, little square cubes of black jello and little tiny round balls of fruits like watermelon, melon, some other kind of fruit there. It also included like little squares of orange jello, and it was delicious in my dream. I remember putting the dish on the table with all the other things people brought over, and after I did, I remember Irene thanking everybody for their specific dishes, and this couple from Cub Scouts had brought blue frosted sugar cookies, and
No.
they looked really fancy and expensive, and they started to pick them up and like all the leftovers, and they say, well, we gotta go, that was fun. And I was like, damn, am I that late or are they leaving early? um and then more people started leaving.
You were that late.
Yeah, I think I was that late. More people at the party started leaving, and all of a sudden it turned into just a mom party. It was like no kids anymore, and we were all escorted. We were escorted outside to the dance area that was there by the pool. So that was fun. And there was music playing. And so all the moms started dancing. And I don't remember what mom I was with, but I remember knowing them in my dream. I think it might have been one of my coworkers. Her name's Lissa. And also, even though she's not a mom, I remember Alice being there. And then it just turned into like a regular house party where stupid, like, douche guys were dancing dumb. Do
Okay.
you know what mewing is?
Yes. Unfortunately, I found out actually this morning.
How'd you find out?
I was watching Rhett and Link.
Okay.
Good Mythical
Yeah,
Morning.
yeah. Anyway, so the guys in their dance moves were like mewing. That was part of their dance moves. And rolling fake dice. And it looked so fucking dumb. In my
Yeah.
dream, it looked so fucking dumb that I made fun of them by dancing like them. Like, just, I don't know, making fun of them. And all the moms were laughing with me at them. And that's all I remember from that dream.
My God.
Just dancing with a bunch of
That
moms.
was that took some twists and turns.
Yeah, I did. And I still want a blue frosted cookie.
But yeah, that the episode that I was watching, they were talking about Gen Alpha slang. And that was one of the things they mentioned, and then they demonstrated, and I was like, "That's dumb.
It's fucking dumb.
That is so
It's
dumb."
dumb as shit. And what the fuck is Gen Alpha? Is that a new generation?
Yeah, that's the youngest gen.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they mentioned that chat is Gen Alpha slang now, and basically it's just, I guess all these kids have grown up watching streamers,
Yeah.
on Twitch and whatever, and how those Twitch streamers will talk to their chat feed, and they'll just say chat, blah 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 blah. So now these kids say it just to the air as though there was an audience.
That's fucking dumb.
Yeah. So my last dream is also dumb and it's really short. So I guess I had been staying with this girl and after I had moved out, I thought I had left some stuff at her place and so I went back and I was like looking for it in her apartment, but she told me she had already like moved it out of the apartment.
Yeah.
And then the girl that owned the place where I was looking through the stuff, she was like, "Oh, this is my older sister," and the older sister just absolutely fell in love with me like instantly. And I gotta say, like in the dream, she was pretty hot, but like we just kind of like started talking, and then that was the end of the dream. And I was just like, "That's rude." How you gonna introduce me to somebody and then just not let me have that for real?
That's funny.
That does remind me, though. I have a quick little funny story about a dream from this morning. I don't remember what the dream was about, but I do remember at one point looking for a bathroom in the dream and not being able to find one,
No.
but just going ahead and peeing. But like when I peed in the dream, like it was the strongest stream. Like, I remember thinking, like, this is like a fire hose. What is happening right now?
It's stupid.
Yeah. And then, like, more stuff happened in the dream. I don't remember what all happened. But that part, I remember, and I was like, why? Why is it like, I felt like I was cutting through the wall that I was peeing on, which, by the way, I'm not happy about that I was peeing on a wall, but still.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that was all my dreams that I had written down, I think.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, I think we did it then. So it's time for recommendations.
Recommendation.
Recommendations. All right. Do you have a recommendation
I
already?
do have a recommendation.
All right. Let's hear it.
I'm going to recommend an anime we just started watching on our way back from, like, on our road trip. Nesto just had it playing and he listened while I was watching it.
Mhm.
It's called Kaiju Number 8.
Okay.
Okay, so this world is plagued by. I'm not sure what kaiju means in.
It means large monster,
Okay,
basically.
that makes sense. I was going to say,
So, like,
I'm pretty sure.
Godzilla is a kaiju.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say, it must mean something like monster because it's plagued
Yeah.
by those, and that's the world that they live in. And there's like a defense force, an official defense force that protects the people of this world from these. So they're tasked with defeating all the kaiju that pop up strategically and military like. And so the show follows this one dude who his name is Kafka. It follows his life, and he it starts out in the show with him working in like the cleanup crew who come like the defense force has done their job and slayed the monsters. The cleanup crew is tasked with cleaning up the mess that's left behind. And it
Okay.
follows this guy, and the more you learn early on in the show that his childhood dream was to be part of the defense force, not part of the cleanup crew. So far it's very, very funny. And so far, the character development is very well done, in my opinion. So
Okay.
it reminds me, what does it remind me of? It reminds me a lot of it reminds me a lot of Naruto, Shippuden,
Okay.
Shippuden.
Naruto.
Where, no, don't say that. At least his attitude does. If you're looking for an anime about a guy with just like a great attitude and funny humor, and you're looking for a show with a very interesting storyline and setting and really good character development, definitely check out Kaiju Number 8. It's slowly but surely becoming one of my top most favorite animes of all time.
Oh, okay.
hmm
What are you doing?
Something fell. My frisbees fell. I'm making a mess. Okay. I think I did it. It's done.
All right. Well, my recommendation is going to be If. It's a new movie that is currently in theaters. Don't know how long it's going to stay in theaters because, well, no movies in theaters are doing well right now. But it's a family film by all definitions. Definitely a family film. It's very emotional. I would say it's very funny, but very like kid friendly.
I was gonna say,
Funny.
is it kid friendly?
Yeah. So Ryan Reynolds is in it, and this little girl is the main character. I don't know what her name is, but I think she's in the movie. She seems to be playing like a 12 to 13-year-old, something like that. And it's about she finally sees this imaginary friend, and she chases it back to what turns out to be Ryan Reynolds' apartment. And then he explains to her that what he's been doing is trying to rehome imaginary friends that their kids forgot about.
Aww.
When a kid stops being able to see their imaginary friend, the imaginary friend just has nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to put them with new kids. So far, it's not working though.
Aww.
It's a very good movie. Steve Carell plays the voice of the big if named Blue that is actually purple, and then Phoebe Waller-Bridge plays the voice of the other main if. And John Krasinski directed and is the father in the movie.
Nice.
But
He's got a great cast.
go ahead. It does, and I really enjoy Ryan Reynolds, like in just about everything.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
I don't know. There's a few people, I'm sure. There's this one running gag throughout the movie that I'm going to tell you about, where he he does great physical comedy. He trips over something while they're walking down a hallway, and then he stands up and he dusts himself off, and he's like, "Hey, Keith." And then he's like, "What kind of weirdo makes an imaginary friend that you can't see?" And so, like, every 30 minutes or so, he trips over this invisible imaginary friend named Keith.
That's funny. That sounds so
Yeah,
cute.
it is. It's very good, very good. I think your boys would like it.
All right.
Alice might actually like it
Yeah, I
too.
think she would. All right.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how long it's going to last in the theater. It's probably going to be on streaming pretty soon.
Nice.
So, all right,
All right.
I think we did it.
We did it. Check out If. Check out Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju number 8. All right, yay!
Huzzah! We did it. Hit him with the outro, Dustin.
Dun dun dun.
Sha-sha-sha.
Thank you, Little Dreamers, for listening.
Little Dreamers is our $5 Patreon subscription tier.
Listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts until 2024,
Thanks for that, Google.
Sirius, Pandora, and YouTube, with YouTube Music and Apple Podcasts coming soon.
You can find us on our socials at TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere else that you think of social media.
Also, email us your dreams at whatmdreams@gmail.com so that we can hear from some of
what you have dreamt about. And, we might judge you harshly. I don't know. We'll see.
We will, but also it'll be fun, so it's cool. Thank you again for listening. Bye.
Bye. Forever.
No, not forever.
Ha ha ha.